I used to think teasing was a form of love, that laughter could hold a marriage together the way silence could tear it apart. That night at Melissa's birthday, I discovered how a single careless joke could wound deeper than years of honesty. The evening was warm, crowded, alive. Music throbbed through the backyard, and fairy lights draped above us like stars just out of reach. Daniel, my husband, lingered by the grill, chatting with colleagues. I was at the drinks table, wine in hand, laughing with friends, feeling a confidence I hadn't known in months. 7 years of marriage had given us routines, small tensions, little habits of silence and compromise. Daniel had always been the steady one, thoughtful, careful, a listener. I was the talker, the one filling gaps with words. I thought that rhythm worked for us. Then Melissa's husband asked a playful question: "Who's the bigger flirt?" I didn't think. I just smiled and said, "Oh, definitely me." Daniel couldn't flirt his way out of a grocery line. Everyone laughed. Across the yard, I saw him smile faintly. I assumed he was shy, so I kept going. I was charming, sparkling, the center of attention. Daniel was sweet but practical. I was the fun one. Again, the laughter rang around me, but when our eyes met, his smile didn't quite reach him. Later, as the music softened and people moved toward the cake, I noticed his chair empty. His beer sat half full, condensation pooling like a small, forgotten moment. I searched the yard. No Daniel. Not at the grill, not near the gate, not inside. His car was gone. I texted him. "Where did you go?" No answer. Did I say something wrong? Midnight came and went. I was home alone, still in my dress, makeup smudged with confusion. His phone went straight to voicemail. The next morning, the space beside me in bed was cold. His closet half empty, toothbrush missing, drawers bare. He hadn't just left the party, he had left me. I first imagined a work emergency, a temporary absence. Then I saw the note on the kitchen counter, folded neatly, my name on top. "I love you, but I can't be the punchline anymore." No anger, no explanations, just that single line hollowing out my chest. I called him relentlessly, reached out to his sister, his closest friends, even his boss. Everyone said the same. He was safe, but he needed space. That word, space, was colder than any silence. In the days after, I replayed the party endlessly, examining every glance, every laugh, every word. I realized how often I had turned his quietness into humor. "Daniel doesn't talk much," I'd joke. "He's my man of few words." I thought it was endearing, playful, but maybe all he heard was that he wasn't enough. It took a week before he replied. "You made me feel small in front of people." I felt small for a long time. I stared at that text until my phone went dark. He was right. I had mistaken his gentleness for tolerance, his calm for strength. When we met for coffee 2 weeks later, he looked different, lighter, in a painful way. "I'm not angry," he said. "I'm just tired. You used to talk to me. Then you started talking about me." Those words cut deeper than his departure. I apologized, honestly, from the heart. I told him I never intended to hurt him, that I loved him more than anyone I'd ever known. He just nodded, as if he already knew the ending. "I don't think I can come back," he said softly. "Not because I stopped loving you, but because I finally started loving myself." I wanted to argue, to beg, to promise I'd change every word I'd ever said. But his quiet understanding told me it was over, not in anger, but in truth. That's the cruelest kind of ending, one that makes sense. Months passed. Friends asked about him. Some said he overreacted. Others said I should have known better. I stopped defending myself. I stopped going to parties. I stopped telling stories that made people laugh at someone else's expense. The silence in my house was heavy but honest, and I learned to listen to it. One evening, I found the note again. "I love you, but I can't be the punchline anymore." This time, I didn't cry. I understood that some losses don't end with a fight or a slammed door. Sometimes, they come wrapped in laughter, and by the time the echoes fade, the person you loved has quietly walked away. If I could say one thing to him now, it would be this: you were never boring. You were steady. You were peace. I just didn't know the difference. Maybe that's the real tragedy. Not that he left, but that I only learned to truly listen after he was gone.